We look at the S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100, and today we had some pretty big news that kind of shook everything up, right? We had a nice push to the upside. We saw some really good names like AVGO in particular start to rip. There was a lot of hype going into these AMD earnings, which I'll tell you right now, they're doing well, and you're showing signs of that continuation. But there was one major factor that we need to talk about that's causing the market to get a little bit of a dip here in the after hours. Now, the main thing I want to talk to us about, though, is again, the reaction that we're seeing to said bad news. So like, subscribe, do what you got to do. Let's get to it. So off rip, I do want to talk about this and what's happening here. Fitch downgraded the U.S. long-term rating in our credit. Basically, the best way to think about this is debt on U.S. They downgraded from AAA to AA+. Not good news. Okay, I've said this like a few months ago. If this were to happen, it'd be pretty bad. Now, again, it's good. It's not necessarily good, but it's better that it's happened after we raised the debt ceiling than before. Very good news that it took this long to happen. That being said, still not great news. Okay, so this is why you're seeing a little bit of a downturn into the after hours. But we look at the chart, and you go to like the 5-minute chart, you can see markets close here, roughly 4 p.m. Central. You gap down, you're already pushing back up. Okay, just gonna point that out there. Now, on the other side of this, we look at some of the other things that's happening here in the market. Today was a very much just chop day. You had your market open and we kind of trended up for the basis of the day, but nothing really happening. Not a lot of day trades happening. But one area of the market, in particular the Dow, went crazy. The Dow made new 52-week highs and continues to look impressive. Okay. Very not 52-week highs, a little bit off, but very impressive. The name that made 52-week highs and all-time highs was Caterpillar. They had earnings, they reported. I mean, what a name. We mentioned this a few weeks ago or a few days ago here on the channel. You broke above, you're just running up. And so Dow had a lot of that love on the day. Okay, looks very good here on the dailies, showing a lot of signs of continuation. We had the Russell yesterday breakout. You're still holding near those highs as well. Okay, so overall, looking at the charts, let me just give you a clear, just opinion based here. It looks still very strong, very set up. AMD earnings beat. AMD is pushing up here in the after hours as well. Roughly 121, 122. The expected move was around $8 to $9, so you're still not there. But still really good for semiconductors. What's happening, I will say, AMD 122 is a clear line in the sand we've been talking about for days and weeks here. So we need to understand that. Also coming into today, what else did we have with DXY? I'm really monitoring this chart as closely as possible. You can see we had the descending triangle. We broke down, but we got back into this. We started to see all this upside here on DXY, really right here, when the BOJ confirmed what was happening with their rates and what they were doing with interest and bonds over there. Okay, that made the DXY get a lot of love and bounce up there. Okay. Now, the question is, can this hold? Can this sustain? You're getting rejected at previous lows here and here. So it's very interesting where you're at and how you're moving. Also want to highlight here, I did mention this in yesterday's video. I forgot to go into detail here. Oil, what's happening in particular here? Oil, very strong bounce. Okay, 200 MA, you're bouncing off this. If there's a case for inflation data to spike back up to the upside, this is your case. If this continues, if we continue to see oil push up, energy will become an issue. It's going to be a lagging issue. It will take a little bit of time to play out, but it will become an issue. I'll give you more opinions on that. So as we look at the market, this is where we're at and this is how we're moving. Again, Thursday is our big day. Now going into these earnings, right? Thursday, it's a big day. Thursday's our big day. Apple, Amazon. All eyes, all ears on those, okay? Now also too, Apple. I got to share both sides here. The good, the bad, the ugly. Apple's heading for its largest Q3 revenue drop since 2016 on the iPhone sales. Okay, we know past quarter in particular, iPhone sales have slowed down. We anticipated a slowdown from Mac sales and all of that. We covered all that. We talked a lot about that. But my logic going into these earnings and being bullish on Apple has nothing to do with revenue, in my opinion, with sales, with their current earnings. My viewpoint is all based on outlook and what they're going to talk about. For instance, you look at AMD, you look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA had pretty good earnings, but you look at some of these other semiconductors. They didn't necessarily have great earnings, but the outlook based on AI propelled them to highs. Apple has not had any upside based on AI, in my opinion. There again, I sound like beating a dead horse here, right? Gonna say, right? New AR goggles, Apple GPT. You got, my opinion, I got to be a bull there, right? I have to be a bull on what's happening there. Okay. So again, that's what I'm looking at here with Apple. Again, but I have very dated contracts in a position. It's not short dated. There's no reason to be short dated in my opinion. I think if you're going short dated, you're opening yourself to risk that is just unnecessary and makes no logical sense. Okay. Don't shoot the messenger, just saying. Now, what I will also say though, over the past few days, and I think this is where the market will kind of agree with me. Again, even on today's action, the chop, 53 million, even with a nice breakout on Dow, you couldn't see an increase of volume coming to SPY to the downside, to the upside, either way. Okay. Volume abysmal, piss poor. You're waiting for Apple. You're waiting for Amazon earnings on Thursday. Okay. Everyone's going to have to agree with Tyler on this one. That's where we're at. Okay. Also, too, guys, I said like, subscribe, but again, this is the channel. Every single day we're posting content for you, so you are prepared and you know what to expect here in the market. If you're interested, the Discord link is down below. You can check us out. But again, if you're a new trader, don't just join in, right? Get your feet wet. Start understanding how to trade, what you should be looking for in options, what type of trader you want to be, right? We're just going to help guide you down that journey once you start embarking on said journey, right? But if you want to start learning right now for free, you go to our website, you go over to education, 100% free. We do not sell a course, right? That's not what the Discord is. The Discord's more hands-on, showing you what we're doing, how we're doing it. This is how we trade. It's all for free here on our website. So check it out. Now, bring me back in. We need to start talking about where we're at and kind of how we're moving. Okay. So far, you look good. Okay. And I want to highlight a few things here. SOXX continues to push up. Very strong. Everyone's saying it's going to crash. We'll see. So far, so good. What I will say, though, is names like AVGO continue to get love. AVGO has been like one of my big riders here. Really loving it. You look really good. You're trying to break up. Again, what have we been saying about AVGO? And I mentioned this specifically in Discord a few days ago. Okay, I want to highlight this here. Discord, really quick. I was out of town, but I still got into this trade looking at AVGO 1000s for December 15th, driving, so I can't post too much. The hold of 900 has me wanting 2 contracts. Those contracts went from around $32 upwards of $44, $45 today. Still hitting. We're doing really nice. But this goes into a big spiel we need to talk about. When we're looking at options as of recently, my goal, my strategy hasn't been the short-dated scalps and, short-dated trades 2 weeks, 3 weeks out. I continue to say there's a lot of uncertainty and you want to be protecting yourself. And I don't know if we're really getting this part of it. But you have to be protecting yourself with these contracts. I'm not going to be the guy that's going to tell you, all in tomorrow, do this, do that. I'm trying to teach while you're here. So hopefully every day when you show up, you're getting something while you're here. You're getting a little bit more knowledge. You're getting a little bit more understanding of what we're doing and how we're doing it. So we want to go 4 months for myself, right? I want to have like end of the year, beginning of next year contracts, just in case we get some volatility. For instance, on AVGO, we dipped back down to 889 and I was still only down like 4%. Contracts now are up over like 25, 30%. So the risk reward, the strategy is there. If you haven't seen our educational videos, I post a lot, so check out the channel as well. But again, you have to start understanding and creating a strategy and plan for you. I was looking at Discord today and I was talking to someone and they were asking about long-term contracts. And again, they might get mad that I'm talking about this, but I like to use everything as a learning experience. Just because a contract may cost more doesn't mean that it's riskier or it's a bad contract. You need to understand, would I rather buy 30 really cheap contracts or one contract worth the same value as those 30? I'm going to pay less fees on the one contract. It's probably going to move less volatile than the other, weekly contracts. I'm going to be able to actually stick to my game plan and my strategy based on that as well. Now, swings and 4 month out may not always be the strategy or the play, but you have to understand when you're getting opportunity and when you're kind of not, when you're pushing your luck. And so that's the goal of what I'm doing here. So I'm trying to really, amplify things that we need to be focusing on here, right? And so when we're getting this action where we're consolidating near highs, you have to be focused on where we're at. You have to be focused on how we're moving. You have to be focused on what's going to protect yourself just in case the worst case scenario does happen and the trade goes the opposite side of you, right? You're always going to be putting yourself in a position to win and win comfortably, right? I don't ever want to go into a trade where it's a loss and I really feel it. It really brings my account down 10%, 20%. That should never happen to your portfolio or trading in general, right? And neither should to the upside. I should never have a day where I gain 20% of my entire portfolio unless, the market just goes absolutely crazy and I get kind of lucky there. That's not trading. That's gambling, okay? So you need to understand it's about longevity, not getting rich quick. Because if you're trying to get rich quick, understand you can also get very poor even quicker, right? Someone had to say it. In closing, I want to say a few things though too. Even as I'm making this video, right, and futures just opened back up pretty recently, you're already bouncing very strong. I want to see us get back over to 15.8. But really what you're looking for here on Nasdaq for upside and for confirmation of the upside, we've already mounted and bounced off the previous highs and you're making higher lows. All you want to see next, this is it, is can you mount above 15.9, right? It goes way back, but I'm not going to go that far back right now. You can clearly see we're meeting a resistance at this level. Can we get above it? Can we bounce? Can we start getting back above? Because if we mount, that's the real big buying opportunity, right? Right there. If you can get the bounce and buyers can start showing up there, that's where I'm really getting excited. And that may not come till the end of the week, right? But that's when I'm starting to really start putting chips into the pile. I'm starting to shove a little bit more, not all in, but definitely putting a little bit more risk on the table. Okay. Understand, have a strategy. And again, it's one of those times. It's kind of like be patient, guys. Just be patient. Every time we said be patient, an opportunity over the past few weeks and months, it's really paid off. If you've been here, if you're brand new, comment down below. Ask them, how was the patience thing worked out over the past 6 months? I guarantee you, you're going to have some good compliments and results happening down there. Again, I will see you guys tomorrow. And again, the next 30 minutes, I recommend you get on Twitter because we're going to be having a space call going over this and my favorite plays in it tomorrow and giving you a little bit more of a chart rundown, Q&A as well. Have a good one.